The Vikings are about to unleash an offensive weapon that few are paying attention to. In 2025, when McCarthy steps onto the field, our analysis reveals how he will not only replace the Kirk Cousins era, but surpass it in critical aspects that will progressively transform Minnesota's offense. What happens when you place a quarterback like McCarthy into the Vikings system? One who delivers the precision of Cousins but offers athletic tools that expand the playbook in ways previously underutilized? The comparison is striking. While Cousins thrived only in controlled environments, McCarthy represents the next evolution of the quarterback position within the Vikings system. Why do the numbers and technical characteristics suggest that McCarthy will surpass Cousins' legacy in Minnesota? Discover our detailed and estimated analysis of how this strategic shift promises to elevate the Vikings to a more competitive offensive level in the NFC North. The success of the Vikings offense in the 2024 season was no accident. It is a calculated evolution toward the next competitive level. When McCarthy takes control of the Vikings offense in 2025, he will not merely be filling the void left by Kirk Cousins, but will represent a meticulously planned strategic evolution envisioned by Kevin O'Connell within one of the most cerebral offensive systems in the NFL. What we will witness is not a simple exchange of players, but a philosophical transition aimed at expanding the limits of what the Minnesota offense can achieve. Cousins established himself as a true system operator during his tenure with the Vikings, an elite mental processor whose identity was defined by surgical precision, advanced pre-snap reading, and disciplined execution within the structure. His strength never lay in exceptional physical attributes, but rather in the ability to defeat defenses with timing, anticipation, and refined mechanics. Over 6 seasons in Minnesota, he completed 66.4% of his passes for 24,599 yards and 178 touchdowns, numbers that reflect rare efficiency and technical consistency. It is precisely at this point that the transition to McCarthy becomes fascinating. While Cousins thrived in controlled environments where his millimeter precision on intermediate throws and ability to process coverages turned offensive structure into statistical production, his tendency to avoid calculated risks and vulnerability under immediate pressure eventually became predictable limitations. McCarthy, on the other hand, already demonstrates a quality that positions him as a natural extension of the system, not just an executor, operational elasticity. During his preseason debut in 2024 against the Raiders before the injury that prematurely ended his season, McCarthy offered glimpses of this fundamental difference. Even after throwing an early interception under pressure, he rebounded with decisive passes, including a 45-yard touchdown to Tristan Jackson that showcased quick arm strength and anticipation qualities essential to O'Connell's system. More importantly, he displayed mental resilience, a trait that Cousins, for all his technical consistency, did not always exhibit in critical moments. The Vikings' offensive philosophy evolved significantly in 2024, establishing an ideal foundation for the transition. Under O'Connell's leadership, the unit reached structural maturity, reducing excessive reliance on the passing game from 63% to 56.6% of plays. Without sacrificing productivity, on the contrary, it recorded its best average points per game under the current coach at 25.4. This more balanced approach did not just generate yards, but conditioned defenses and created tactical opportunities, resulting in an impressive 9.2 yards per attempt on play action, the second best mark in the league. It is precisely within this context that McCarthy's qualities can elevate the system to another level. While Cousins required consistent protection to function at the peak of his abilities, absorbing 192 sacks and facing pressure on 27.8% of dropbacks during his time with the Vikings, McCarthy already demonstrates superior tolerance to chaos. His controlled mobility both inside and outside the pocket, ability to reset his mechanical base while moving, and crucially keep his eyes downfield to find moving targets represent a natural evolution for an offense that seeks to preserve its identity while expanding its possibilities. The marriage between the running game and McCarthy's skills promises to create a synergy that Cousins, even in his best moments, could not consistently offer. The system designed by O'Connell does not require constant improvisation, but values fluid adaptation without loss of concept. McCarthy does not improvise out of desperation, but by design. This ability to extend plays while keeping the mental structure intact will allow the Vikings to more effectively explore concepts like dagger, flood, and Yankee, which demand vertical progression and patience to develop. On third downs and in red zone situations, areas where the Vikings' efficiency dropped to 40% and 55.7% respectively. In 2024, the difference between the two profiles will become more evident. While Cousins relied almost exclusively on precision and timing within the structure to convert critical moments, McCarthy adds the ability to manipulate the pocket, create outside of the scheme when necessary, and attack windows that do not remain open for long, all while maintaining progression discipline and keeping his eyes on the field. The presence of a tight end like TJ Hockenson will be crucial in this transition. During the Cousins era, the position already functioned as a safety valve in pressure situations. With McCarthy, Hockenson will become not only a safety target, but a strategic element that allows for the exploration of intermediate zones while the outside receivers stretch the defense vertically. This duality will give the young quarterback clear options in his read progressions, especially when formations in 12 personnel, 1 running back, 2 tight ends create favorable mismatches against linebackers. McCarthy's pre-snap maturity, surprising for a quarterback early in his career, allows him to use hard counts, identify blitzes, and adjust protections based on the rotation of the safeties, traits that position him as a tactical conductor, not just an executor. This quality echoes what Cousins did best, identifying vulnerabilities before the snap and capitalizing with immediate adjustments. The difference lies in the ability to sustain that processing when the original play collapses. Cousins delivered consistent numbers even under pressure: 66.4% accuracy, 24,599 yards, 178 touchdowns, and 74 interceptions over 6 seasons, but his efficiency dropped drastically when forced out of structure. The statistics don't tell the full story. His tendency to seek safe solutions rather than decisive plays reflected a conservative approach that, while ensuring steady production, sometimes limited the explosive potential of the offense in critical moments. What makes McCarthy particularly suited for the next stage of the Vikings' offensive evolution is his complete technical profile. Quick arm, controlled mobility, functional mechanics both in and out of the pocket, and advanced mental processing. His preseason debut, though limited, revealed promising traits: quick reading of coverages, precise adjustments on structured plays, and perhaps most importantly, the ability to learn from mistakes and adjust his game during the course of a game. The development plan for McCarthy goes beyond simply reinforcing protection. The franchise has articulated a complete tactical framework so he can grow without developing mechanical habits induced by constant pressure, a problem that affected quarterbacks like Sam Darnold in the past. With the stabilization of interior protection, McCarthy will have the space to apply his pre-snap read concepts, react to defensive rotations, and manipulate safeties with his eyes and shoulders, elements that already showed potential during his college career. The metamorphosis of the Vikings' offense under O'Connell in 2024, prioritizing consistency over explosions and recognizing that wins on routine plays create room for moments of rupture, set the perfect stage for McCarthy. Even with a different quarterback, Darnold, the system proved its functionality, leading the NFL in total yards on passes of 20-plus yards. With McCarthy, the expectation is that this production will not only be maintained, but will gain new dimensions through his ability to extend plays and attack defenses with precision, even while moving. While Cousins moved to the Atlanta Falcons, maintaining similar production, 68% accuracy, 4,132 yards, 28 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions in 2024, his performance against Minnesota in Week 14 exposed familiar limitations. 23 of 37 for 344 yards, with no touchdowns and 2 interceptions in critical moments. This inconsistency in high-pressure situations, especially in the red zone where he converted only 2 of 5 opportunities, illustrates precisely what the Vikings hope to overcome with McCarthy: the tendency to force passes in inappropriate situations and the difficulty in protecting the ball under pressure. What the Vikings built in 2024 was merely the foundation for what is to come with McCarthy. The offensive identity evolved into a rare balance between aerial aggressiveness and a functional running game, creating an ideal environment for the development of a young quarterback. The system demands functional intelligence and real-time decision-making, precisely the qualities that McCarthy has demonstrated since his first snaps in the NFL. The transition from Cousins to McCarthy represents more than a generational shift. It is a calculated philosophical evolution. While Cousins symbolized mastery of the structure, McCarthy embodies the structure in motion, ready to face defenses that adjust faster and punish indecision. In 2025, what we will witness will not only be the first year of a new quarterback, but the first chapter of a new offensive identity built on solid fundamentals, refined reading, and a technical synergy between quarterback, receivers, and system of vision that O'Connell has been patiently cultivating since his arrival. This projection is supported because McCarthy is not an improviser who depends on the collapse of the play to produce, but a tactical operator who thrives within the structure, a characteristic that aligns perfectly with O'Connell's philosophy. His decision-making in controlled rhythm situations is mature, and even under pressure, he tends to preserve basic mechanics and focus, indicating a well-calibrated internal pocket clock. This balance between patience and aggressiveness will be vital within a system that demands layered reading and the ability to attack momentary windows with confidence and precision. The arrival of McCarthy represents not only a transition of quarterbacks, but a strategic evolutionary leap for the franchise. While the system under O'Connell has already reached structural maturity, it is with McCarthy that the Vikings will be able to explore tactical dimensions previously unreachable. His hybrid profile, combining advanced mental processing with controlled mobility and a quick arm, promises to unlock layers of offensive potential that remained dormant even during the best moments of the Cousins era. The true value of this transition lies in the expansion of the strategic horizon without abandoning the already established identity. McCarthy will not reinvent the system, he will expand it, offering a more adaptable and resilient version of the same. The deficiencies on third downs and in the red zone that limited the full potential of the offense in 2024 will find in McCarthy a catalyst for both structural and improvised solutions. What we will witness in 2025 will be the final metamorphosis of an offense that already demonstrates statistical power into a truly multidimensional offensive machine capable of punishing defenses through the structure or despite it when necessary. McCarthy is not just the next quarterback for the Vikings, he is the key to a new competitive level. Are you a Vikings fan feeling confident that McCarthy in the 2025 season will surpass the Kirk Cousins era and become the offensive weapon the Vikings have been searching for in recent years? Leave your comments below. And subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, and don't forget to leave your like. Thank you for watching and see you soon. Go Vikings!